Ahoy hoy! Jelly here today, and I'm going to be your juggling instructor. Enough of that. Anyway, yeah, basically, to start off juggling, you don't even need the third ball. Stick that in your pocket. Move this down a little bit. There we go. Right. All you need, one ball in each hand. Now the idea of juggling is that when one reaches the very peak of its throw, about there, so when it starts to come down, throw the other one in the air, just to help with timing and stuff. So it's up, there, okay, so up, there, okay, up, there, okay. Now if you start and you've got kind of like smaller hands, or you think tennis balls might be a bit big or a bit loose, just kind of find some bean bags or anything that's got a bit of weight behind it. Now, yeah, your hand position when you're actually juggling should be elbows, legs a little bit apart, elbows sort of roughly hips kind of thing. They can move around a bit. If you do it like that, then you're just going to be too stiff and you're going to go, oh, and then you're going to drop the ball. So kind of loosen up a little bit. Stuff like that. Yeah, so when you're throwing them up, just wait till it gets to the top and throw it. And you want to do this with both hands. So it's start with the left, start with the right, start with the left, start with the right. Okay, just to get the feeling going. And then once you can do that, okay, do it a bit quicker. Now when you're throwing the balls, you want to watch, kind of pick a rough spot on the ball that you want to aim for. So just imagine like a little kind of circle in front of you, and you want to try and throw the balls into those circles. Now you're thinking, okay, well if I just look at the wall straight in front of me and not look at the balls, then you're just going to go and not see where they're going. Which is why you should only, that's the other thing, which leads me to my second point. Never look at your hands either. You don't need to know where your hands are. They're at the end of your arms. I'm assuming most people know where the end of their arms are. So if you start juggling, don't look at your hands because you can't see the balls, and don't look at the wall because you can't see the balls. What you should do is the first time you throw the ball, that's the only time you should have to look at your hand. So you throw it and you follow the ball, and then right, that's all you're doing. Now the second one, you want to try and throw into that circle. So wherever the first ball goes, make that little circle and do that. And that's it. That's where the balls are going to go all day long. Now once you've practiced going left, right and right, left, that's when you can bring a third ball in. But make sure you've already got that down first. So got your third ball. Now all you're going to do when you bring the third ball in, exactly the same thing, except you've got an extra ball, okay? So it's left, right, and make sure that you feel comfy catching both balls with another ball in your hand, just in case your timing's a bit off and you have to adjust and all that jazz. So it's just 1, 2, ball in the other hand, 1, 2, okay? So just do that a few times to really get comfy with it. Just do that. Maybe if you drop a couple, stop, think, okay, were your arms out here? Did you have to like dive for it or something like that? Now, hey, that never happened. Shh. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah. The other thing is, most people try and do is they focus too much on catching this ball. Okay, so it's 1, 2. Yeah, so it's 1, 2, and then they think, catch, I have to catch it. Don't worry about catching that ball yet, okay? Just think, once you've got that down, okay, with an extra ball in your hand, just practice throwing the third ball, okay? So you just go in, and make sure you catch that third ball. Don't worry about the second one drops on the floor. It comes with, once you get used to it, okay? So it's 1, 2, 3, and just catch that third ball. Now, once you've got fairly comfy with that, bed there, that's when you can start worrying about catching that second ball, because it's not an issue of catching it, it's an issue of catching and throwing in the same hand so quickly. So it's just, and that's one of the main things people usually have problems, so they kind of go and can't throw that third ball. It's one of the things I struggled with so much. So just do that, and then once you know that you can catch it, and maybe after you've caught it a couple of times, just like that. Okay. And once you feel comfortable doing that, maybe count how many you can do. Okay, so you go, so you get one cycle done, and then think, right, I want to do one cycle 5 times. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, once you've got that done, you know you can do one cycle. Then say I want to do 2 cycles, and I want to be able to do it really good, but maybe only once. So it's just 2 cycles. Right. Now for the actual juggling itself. Like I said, the main problem is people not being able to throw the ball, the third ball, whilst catching the second one. Well, that you get used to when you're just doing a bit of practicing. Now, once you actually start juggling, like I said, you want to keep your elbows about here, feet shoulder width apart. And one of the problems I almost guarantee you will start doing is this: walking forwards when you're trying to juggle, and you end up throwing a ball everywhere. If you find yourself going forwards, grab like an office chair or something, or, okay, I realise you can't actually see the office chair, but okay, there's an office chair there, or something like that, or a chair, or maybe stand on, get a mat, put it on the floor. Now, stand. You'd like to just look at the mat, push the chair out of there. There we go. Right, now stand there. Okay, so you're sitting there juggling away, la 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 la, and you want to make sure, even if it means bending your knees, instead of walking, never walk forwards. Right, so you might be juggling, and you might bend your knees a bit. Just whatever you can to not walk forwards. Don't know why that's wonky. Right. So when it actually comes to the juggling itself, what you want to do is, like I said, once you can go through one cycle, practice it with your other hand. So it's one cycle with 2 balls to the left, or 2 balls to the right. Start with it in the left. Okay, that was the wrong way around, but you get the general point. And yeah, so you want to get comfy, just really doing it with both, like starting with 2 in your right, then 2 in your left, 2 in your right, 2 in your left, just because it makes things easier as you go along. As I said before, final tips: watch the ball, the first ball that comes out your hand, watch that ball. It's the only time you should look at your hand, and then as soon as it gets to the point where it has no more velocity and it's at terminal height, that's where you want your little circle thing to come. Circle thing, that's 2 little circles. Ooh, like a button. It's like the Clangers movie. There is no movie, there should be the Clangers movie. I digress. So yeah, throw that first ball up, and that's where you want your circle, okay? And it's just, that is where it should be. Try and get it to roughly eye level if you can, just so you're not kind of looking out and stuff like that. Now, once you get to the point where you can maybe get, say, go for 3 or 4 cycles. So once you get to that point, then it's literally just a matter of practicing it and practicing it, and being careful with what you practice with, because you're not allowed to use golf balls near the computer.